thank you for subscribing to Podcast One Premium.
It's not the best one. It's not the great one. You're speaking with the juiciest one.
And the monologue wasn't bad, and you know that was all Chappelle.
Right, that's just part of his stand-up routine.
Right,
you know what I mean?
But everything else was JoJo super Dutch.
Do you ever watch it like regularly? Like I'll watch it whenever.
I watch it every week, and it sucks every week.
Right. Do you agree that there's some good stuff usually in the first half hour? And then the news part is usually decent. Sometimes there's a stinker on there.
It's not enough to make me watch anymore, bro. I only watch – this is what I do. I watch Saturday Night Live because usually I like the musical guests and because, you know, they're usually funny and topical with politics and all that.
Right.
And that's always been like one of their fortes, but they've been terrible. They've really been terrible. I mean, I thought what's this guy's name? The guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm. He did a great Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Larry David.
Yep.
You know, or like when remember when the girl used to do Sarah Palin?
Yeah, she was amazing.
The one from 30 Rock?
Yeah, the brunette girl. I can't think of her name. She's mad famous.
Yeah, that she was in that movie Sisters with Amy Poehler, where John Cena was in it as a drug dealer. He was awesome. Did you see that?
Wait, was that the one? He was a drug dealer?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Was that the one where he's in the movie theater and he threatens to beat the guy up?
No, that's Trainwreck.
Okay, then I don't think I've seen Sisters yet. It's called Sisters.
So check this out. So anyways, in this movie, they have a party, right? And they're sisters, and they have like this big party. I think, but now like they're older now, like they're. You know, like they're older ladies, but they have kind of like a party with like all the old high school friends, right?
Okay.
And so of course, and John Leguizamo's in it. He's hilarious. And so basically, he hooks them up. You know, they're like, "Hey, we need some party favorites." He goes, "Bro, I got a guy that can hook you up." So Cena shows up with like a tattoo on his arm. And he's got a gray wife beater, and he's got like a little beanie, and he opens up this bag. He's like, he throws down, bro. He goes, I got Halcyon, I got acid, I got ecstasy, I got Kush, he throws down with. It's one of the most hilarious scenes of the movie.
That's right. This is my best friend, my bra, right? This is Pazuzu.
It sure is. Pazuzu, thank you so much for bringing your arms here, your drugs here. Is your ink Samoan? I saw a documentary once.
I will handle this. We are looking for two drugs.
What you want? I got ketamine, meth, MDMA, Adderall, bromo dragonfly, heroin, coke, crack, codeine, oxys, perks, Vikes, PCP, LSD, Dilaudid, mescaline, mushrooms, bath salts, cortisone, Toradol. I got Molly, I got her sister Sandra, I got Big Frank, I got birth control, I got Plan B, I got that morphine from China. They took off the market, shit to make your dick hard, shit to make your dick soft, shit'll find your dick. That shit there's from Kenya. Supposed to be a scurvy cure and silverback gorillas, but for humans it just makes them violently masturbate. Did I say crack? Because I got more of that too.
Crack ready.
I got some ibuprofen, aspirin. I got Flintstone gummies if you want.
You seem good at your job.
We don't need any of that. No. We're just gonna take some low-level, late 80s dirt pot. You know, the kind with seeds in it that you separate on a Frisbee.
Something you smoke at like a Bangles concert.
I didn't drive my ass across town to sell some motherfucking dirt pot. Y'all gonna buy some Cloud 10?
I'm sorry, man. They're just new to the game. Ladies, come on, this is Cloud 10. This is the shiz, alright? This is like 70% Molly, 20% Adderall, and it's like 10% fun.
What's that last 10%?
Snow leopard.
No, seriously, I'm a nurse, so just give me a name.
Misty.
I actually don't know.
You know what? You seem like a pro, so we'll just take a little weed and just a skosh of Cloud 10.
Are there hazelnuts in that?
I'll take the stuff for the dick.
I got you.
Orgullosamente Latino hasta la muerte y después. Worldwide Latino pride, the ambassadors of violence. LAX, K-Dog, the notorious 187 homicide.
What up, though? It's your boy KG Kevin Gill behind the boards, welcoming you to Keepin It 100 with Konnan. Maintaining and flying high as the flagship show on the Jericho Network on Podcast One. On this week's episode, Ultimate Fighting Championship superstar Diego Sanchez returns for part 2 of his exclusive interview. It's the return of a Juicy for All special music edition. Shane Helms is back, as is the Master Republic Minute, and much to the chagrin of Cyrus, Disco Inferno is back as well. Without any further ado, let's throw it on over to the master of the verbal gems. It's Konnan.
Welcome to episode 20 of Keepin It 100 with Konnan, and I'm here with my boys KG and DI. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What up, though?
What up? Anyway, so real quick, I want to send some shouts out to Amir Shan from London, England, Eloisa Rodriguez from the Yay area for using those Amazon Killer Deals button, which, as you know, helps the show continue. I want to say thank you to everybody that listened to that Eddie Guerrero special. It's doing incredible numbers. And thank you to everybody that's been listening to the show, spreading the word, telling other people about the show, and helping us grow in the way we have. I'm going to try to give you guys a gift pretty soon. Barry Bloom, Chris Jericho's lawyer, is working on this. It has to go through legal to get it done. But it's something from us to you guys. Also to Stacy Parra, who makes this show run. Also our boys that help us over with Mark Cologne podcast About Nothing. Peter Melnick. Who's the other cat, KG?
It's our boy DRW from over in Europe, and even sometimes Jamie Welton.
Yes. And so, yeah, man, what do you guys got going on?
Nothing much. I mean, I got the big show coming up this week, Saturday night.
At LaGuardia.
The LaGuardia Plaza Hotel. Hey, all the legends are going to be there. Be a hell of a deal. We'll see Hall and Nash are going to be there. Raven's going to be there. I'm sharing a booth with Raven and Rick Steiner.
That's awesome.
It's called The Big Event.
Right.
New York, LaGuardia Plaza Hotel from 10 to 3. And if you show up there,
yes,
you can. I think you got to pay for, it's this typical wrestling convention. You got to pay for pictures, everything. But I'll shake your hand.
Free hugs?
I may give a free hug.
Right.
And I will, and if you are at the table, I will give you a minimum of 1 minute of conversation. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to them if you want to sit at the table. Talk.
That is very generous of you.
Generous, okay. And if you don't yell,
yeah,
I may give more than I'll give you at least a minute, but it may go up to 3 to 5 minutes if you're providing me with entertaining conversation.
Nice. Okay, so I wanted to say,
don't let anybody when they're at the tip, please. If you do come to my table at the big event, don't look me directly in the eye, please.
Well, it's going to be tons and tons and tons and tons of stars there, and Disco Inferno is going to be there. This is amazing.
That was a very disrespectful cheap shot. Are you going to be there, Kevin Gill?
I wish. I'm not on your level. Someday I hope to be.
That's what I thought.
I wanted to say I saw 2 movies that I like to watch indie movies a lot because they don't usually have the big budgets that we have here in the United States, so it's all about good scripting and good acting. But I saw one from it's Korean. It's called The Handmaiden. Sweet movie, something to go guys to go see with your girl, but it's not a girl movie. It's like a couples movie. And the other one that I saw, which is really good, is called Moonlight. So those are 2.
What is Moonlight about? I think I heard about this.
Moonlight it's set in Miami, in the 80s, and it's this black guy who really well done, well shot, well acted. Basically this black guy and the way he grows up in Miami in the 80s, and there's 3 guys playing him at different parts of his life. So he starts off kind of weak and scared and watching his mom going through all this drama, and then he turns out into a thug. But then there's an incredible swerve in it. It's a really good movie, very very well done.
So you're not gonna give a spoiler out and tell us what the swerve is?
No, bro, because then it's the fun. The movie's not going to be any fun. Wow. Really, you like spoilers before you go to a movie?
No, of course not. I was just being sarcastic because, like, that's my big thing. If you're a spoiler guy,
right?
Like you're spoiler. I think you're just a complete asshole. I think you're an asshole.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think you're one too.
I think it's a cheap shot.
And I think
speaking of assholes, what did you see this thing with Bill Simmons and Chris Collinsworth today?
No.
Oh, it's fantastic. Okay, so Bill Simmons obviously doesn't have a very he's not well liked. Okay,
right.
and it's his HBO
and he just
show.
got canceled.
Okay, so his show, Any Given Wednesday just got canceled.
Do you like him more or Colin Cowherd?
I like Cowherd better. I like Cowherd a lot. So Bill Simmons tweeted last night. I guess this was during the game, or maybe it was today. I don't know. During the football game last night, with the Pats and the Seattle, it's like Bill Simmons. Somebody needs to gently break the news to Collinsworth that the Pats have a weak front seven, and that's why Seattle's O-line looks good. Okay, so Chris Collinsworth retweeted that with the quote. It says, "Chris Collinsworth, thanks, Bill. We'll look for you gently breaking it down on that hit show of yours." Chris Collinsworth's got like a genius IQ. You're not gonna make. Bill Simmons is a very high opinion of himself.
Right, very aloof.
Very. So he's not gonna get over on him. Did you see what I posted on my Facebook page? This article.
No.
This, Cornell. Listen to this. This is the name of the article, and it shows a bunch of kids sitting around and all huddled together and they're crying. Okay, Cornell University holding quote cry-ins to quote unquote mourn Trump win. Bro, it's like, let me tell you something. I thought Obama was fine as a president, but you can't erase. The 8 years is up. Okay, I don't remember stuff like this being like this is like over the course of like the past like 5-6 years where we've become very politically correct as a country to the point that it's like we're really coming across like a bunch of sissies to the world. The way we cry and complain about things all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, do you agree with that? I mean,
I've always said there's bro, when I was in MLW, that was one of the main things I would always say, the pussification of the United States. And you've seen it, and you've seen it, and you've seen it, and it's just getting worse, and everybody's so delicate, and everybody's offended, and everybody, and everybody's racist, and everybody's a sexist, and everybody's an ageist, and everybody's just pointing fingers at everybody like nobody does anything wrong. Let me tell you, one time I was going to do this thing just to get controversy, but then I thought, nah, it's not even – I was basically going to do this thing in Mexico. I was going to have a segment. I was going to call it the Sriracha Seat or some shit like that. And basically it was, if I knew I was trying to prove a point, and it was like a wrestler. If I knew something about you that you would be embarrassed that the public knew, would you be willing, are you so sin-free or that you've never done anything in your life that I could bring you on the show and there's nothing embarrassing I could say about you? If you're sure you are, I want you to come on the show. And I wanted to see how many wrestlers would come on the show, which would be none. And my point was to them as well as to the fans, everybody's got shit to be ashamed about. Everybody's done shit they've done wrong. So who are you to be going around and pointing fingers?
Yeah, bro, I'm not a religious guy.
Right.
But and this is the one thing that religious people, everybody forgets, and it's true too. Is like the one Bible thing that I think holds true more than anything is that what Jesus said, "May he who is without sin cast the first stone," and that's life. I mean, everybody that judges people, everybody's like you're quick to point the finger. I'm like, bro, look in the mirror and judge that person,
right?
And tell me what you think. And tell me what you think. If you did, would you want that person to be judged by everybody?
And I, right now that you brought up religion, one of the things that always I'm always like, why would anybody follow this religion, Catholicism, right? You know that women cannot be ordained as priests,
right? Despite the fact that they hardly have enough priests and no one wants to sign up,
right? And then the thing is, this guy Pope Francis, the first Latin Pope, right? From Argentina, and you've seen, how he's supposed to be this really humble guy, and they show him, cleaning people's feet, and he's been lauded for his humility and being progressive and all that, And remember, he didn't want to wear that sweet little mini cape that they wear because it looked too ostentatious. So they asked him in an interview in Sweden, right, if when will women ever be ordained as priests? And he said no. And the reporter goes, never. And he goes, yes. And the reporter goes, really? And the reason he gave, listen to this, is because Jesus chose only men as his apostles. So you're talking about something that happened almost 2,000 years ago.
Allegedly.
Think about that, and it can never change.
Yeah. Alleged, and not even that Jesus said, someone who wrote a book hundreds of years later, claiming facts that were
years ago. Women couldn't vote, neither could African Americans. Gays couldn't marry. I mean, how antiquated and backward, sexist, and humanitarian is that statement?
50 years ago, black people didn't have rights.
Here's the thing: is that the message that religion teaches is good. Okay. But
the very basic high level, right? Be good to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's
very
great.
basic. It's great. But listen, the logic used to get to those conclusions makes no sense whatsoever sometimes. You know, like the logic to the rules just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Some of their methods, bro. Some of the, the Spanish Inquisition, going to Mexico and turning everybody Catholic, some of their methods were it's just incredible. Okay, so. Let me ask you a question. So what did you guys think? What are your thoughts a couple days out now? I know that I think you and me, Disco, are kind of the same as it's really don't care who's in office. Mine is, but I think you're kind of a left-leaning guy, a liberal, right? KG.
Yeah, like I don't subscribe to any of the beliefs or buzzwords or any of that, but yeah, I guess if you had to put the way I think or whatever and put it against the political system, I guess it would lean the way you described.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Well, my belief is here's what I think. I think, and this is, and I just think the media pulled the left wing media. You can disagree with me on this, okay? And I'm going to talk about some points I think you guys are going to disagree with me with. Is that the media hatchet job they tried to pull on Trump didn't work, okay? And I have friends of mine that the liberals think they're so smart sometimes. They use words like misogynist, xenophobe, right? Here's the thing I'm not buying, okay? And I look, bro, when you're in the middle, you can look at both sides of the issue. There's a lot of things that I've read that would point to Trump being a racist. Okay? There's a lot of things I've read that would basically disprove the points that Trump is a racist. Okay, let's see, Kevin, you say that, but when I think of racism, okay, I don't even think America really knows exactly what racism is. Racism is you feel that your religion or your race is superior to others. So when I think of racism in this country, I think of white power. Okay, there's not a lot of white power movement anymore. The KKK's only got 5,000 members. It used to have 1 million. David Duke is basically irrelevant, but they go to him now because they're trying to paint this. Let me finish. Let me finish. Okay.
Cut him off, Konnan.
But so basically though, but when I see in the 1970s, Trump had the housing discrimination lawsuits against him. But in the 1990s, Trump was getting awards from the black leaders and stuff, and Jesse for doing work with inner city blacks in New York City. Okay, but
that's all PR. I'm not discrediting that he did.
That's my point. That's my point. Your spin is Trump is a racist, so you say that's all PR. Until I know what Trump's relationships are with minority people on a personal level and how he treats them and what they think of him, his personal people that know him, I'm not going to let the media decide to me what the stories they tell me whether or not Trump is a quote-unquote racist and paint this as a white and black issue. So until I know the guy personally, but I do know this. Dennis Rodman is coming to our club and he's friends and everything. Dennis Rodman will tell you right off the bat, Donald Trump is the farthest thing from a racist you've ever seen, and he's a black guy. Okay, so I'm not going to discount that.
I think we're not even sure what Dennis Rodman is.
But that's not the point. There's a lot of the first.
But let me just say one thing. I just want to back up something real quick. First of all, one thing, you can't refer to them as the blacks. Okay, so somebody in his in his inner circle needs to put him up on game on that. But getting back to the racist thing where you're saying, well, I don't see, the Ku Klux Klan membership is down and all that. Yeah, bro, because it's now you are fined and put in jail and beat up for coming out in white sheets. And so a lot of them are underground, and you don't have to say, oh, well, my whole race is superior. There's levels of racism as far as, for example, I know a lot of times when I would be around white friends and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm cool. I got black friends and all that. And I'm like, would you have any problems with your daughter marrying a black guy? And they're like, and they just say, and like, bro, why are you thinking about that? Mm-hmm. You wouldn't have thought about it if I would have said a white guy. There's levels of racism. It doesn't have to be in your face calling people because we're not back in the 60s. For them, we'll blow your head off, or you will be put in jail, or even another white person might check you. You just can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like before, right. Even in wrestling, if you remember, that was the gimmick match. A black guy could only wrestle another black guy. A Latino could only wrestle another Latino. Yeah. Bro. So it's
a long time ago, though, bro.
But what I'm saying is there's still levels of racism, because I remember
there is.
Okay, here's the thing that really, really was surprising. I think they were saying the biggest voter turnout were high school educated white men.
Correct.
I remember telling KG, Hispanics are almost 17% of the population, which by the year, like around 2040, around there, we will be the majority minority. But anyways, African Americans are like 13%, Asians are like 5%. So U.S. is still 72% of the population, is white. Okay. And they decided this election, it doesn't matter if he alienated minorities, he still had the white vote. And now we had to figure out how many of them agreed with Trump. Mm-hmm. And obviously the majority did.
Right.
Or at least the majority for the electoral college.
Yeah, that's the majority that mattered.
That's what counts at the end,
Yep.
The one thing that's been really telling is that, populism, and both Trump and Sanders were populists because they're both running on like what would you call it? Anti-establishment platforms, right?
Right, but so Donald Trump was backed by his organization, where Sanders was undercut by his.
Right, yes. Exactly. That's the biggest mistake the Democrats made right there.
Mm-hmm. They may have destroyed the future of their party.
They sabotaged the guy that had a chance against Trump, and more people would have come out. And but anyways, basically, in populism, basically they capitalize on the ideology that citizens are being mistreated and we're being taken advantage of by elites, which whether you are left or right, both sides agree on that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And usually that goes hand in hand, populism with nationalism, usually immigration. If you remember Ross Perot and Nader, they were populists. That whole Occupy Wall Street movement, remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We are the 99 and it's the 1% that created the economic instability and all that. As all those were populist movements. And you're seeing that all around the world, whether it's in the Philippines. You've seen that guy Duterte, Duterte.
Oh, yeah.
Name is the squad guy. Yeah. Just going out there, and he said, hey, I'm going to get rid of crime. And he's gone out there and killed all these drug dealers, like 3,000 of them.
Yeah, suspected drug dealers. That's what you had to be.
And
if you're a suspected drug dealer, you get death sentence.
Bro, but he's super over with the people, because it's like, okay, somebody get rid of this crime. We don't care how you do it, just do it.
Well, sometimes toughness takes care of business, and sometimes we don't let people be as tough as they should be sometimes. This is a problem with this country. Right. And that's why we have cry-ins.
But that's the pussification. That's the the new generation with the plucking their eyebrows and all this. It's and you talk to them, you raise their voice, and now all of a sudden they get all sensitive and they want to cry. I'm like, bro, you would not have lasted in the wrestling business 20 years ago, much less society.
Right?
Yeah,
because I don't know what's happened to this new generation. Straight up,
they're not tough because they weren't disciplined growing up.
Well, they were receiving participation trophies.
Exactly, brutal, isn't it?
Hey, it's Steve Austin. Have you checked out the Steve Austin Show? I got family-friendly episodes on Tuesdays, and I let it all fly on Unleashed every Thursday. So get to podcast1.com or iTunes to listen and subscribe. And that's the bottom line, because I said so.
This is Cody Rhodes. When I was 13 years old, I met Disco Inferno, and man, I gotta tell you, he sucks. And you are listening to Keepin' It 100 with Konnan and KG.
This is Kevin Sullivan, and I'm always listening to Keep It Real with Konnan 100. The one thing I don't understand, Disco, what a brain. He wants to wrestle the Invisible Man. Good one. We were set the wrestling business back 600 years. It was for you, Disco. Keep on dancing, brother.
Hey, Konnan, do you wear underwear when you sleep?
Are you back with these freaky questions again?
Well, just, or do you like
pictures too? What's going on here?
No. Just like when you wake up, do you have to put underwear on, or do you already have underwear on?
Yeah, they're already on. If you must know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this.
KG, what's up with this guy?
I don't know. He's obsessed with you, brother.
No, it's got nothing to do with that.
All right.
I'd just like you guys to right now, okay, just close your eyes.
Oh, boy.
And picture a world where putting on a new pair of underwear isn't just fresh. It's like you're stepping into a better day. Like, think about it. Okay. Underwear is the first thing you put on and the last thing that you take off. Why would you settle for anything less than the best feeling underwear on the planet?
I mean, what type of underwear are you wearing that's making you so jolly?
Okay. Well, I've been wearing MeUndies. And MeUndies focuses solely on producing the most comfortable underwear you've ever experienced. So my friends at MeUndies sent me a few pairs a while back, and now I can't imagine wearing anything else. It really makes each day that much better.
Now, Disco, you get the free hookups because you're big arena performer Disco Inferno. What about regular people? What kind of price are they paying for these MeUndies?
Well, for the price of 2 cocktails, MeUndies will deliver your new favorite pair of underwear right to your doorstep. Better day guaranteed.
Wow.
Yeah, try them on. And if they aren't the most comfortable, best feeling undies you've ever had, they'll refund your money, and guess what they'll do? Let you keep your first pair for free.
Wow.
So they'll refund the money and let you keep the pair. And included in the price is a sweet touch of a modal. You know what modal is?
No.
Okay. It's a special. Well, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to educate you. # class is in session.
Boom.
Modal is a special fabric made with best-in-class raw materials that are scientifically proven to be, get this, 3 times softer than cotton. So they did experiments on this, and you know how soft cotton is?
Yeah.
Modal's 3 times as soft.
Cotton's softer than Moose's offense.
Nice.
Some people have said. These uber cozy undies are sold exclusively on the MeUndies website, where you'll enjoy free shipping in the United States and Canada.
Man, I got to check these out. If you're putting them over there like that type of comfort, and going so far as asking me if I wear underwear and I'm sleeping or not, which I actually took in another meaning. You were just looking out for my well-being. I got to check those out, DI.
And sometimes, just like everybody else, I have a bad day sometimes, but the idea of being able to have a good day guaranteed as the result of bomb-ass underwear, sign me up. And the good news is, for a limited time, everyone in the listening audience of Keepin' It 100 gets 20% off their first order. But you have to go to our very special URL, which is meundies.com/comfort. That's
how do you spell MeUndies?
It's a very good question, Disco Inferno. It's MEUNDIES. MeUndies.com/comfort. And with the MeUndies Better Day Guarantee, you have less than nothing to lose. Do not wait a moment longer. Right now, stop what you're doing, pause the show, and go to MeUndies.com/comfort. Get 20% off your first order. That's MeUndies, MEUNDIES.com/comfort.
And I want all our listeners out there that get the MeUndies and order these things to post on Twitter, and you can hashtag the show or tag us in it. And we want to know about your underwear experience that you had with MeUndies.
And if you can, DM a Disco picture of you in your MeUndies.
Respetable público, lucharán 2 de 3 caídas sin límite de tiempo. En esta esquina, el Santo y Cavernario. Y en esta otra, Blue Demon y el Bulldog. El Santo, el Cavernario, Blue Demon y el Bulldog. El Santo, el Cavernario, Blue Demon y el Bulldog.
Yo, welcome back to another segment of the Mass Republic Minute. Boom.
Yeah, wait, time out. Hush up, quiet. Why? I thought why is he still on this thing when I suspended the guy?
Bro, how many people do you have heat with? You have heat with Cyrus. You have heat with Lance. You have heat with Diamore. You have heat with Kleinrock. You have heat with KG. You have come on, bro. We're not going to have any segments on the show.
Well, Kleinrock was suspended for being disrespectful. I mean, we're supposed to be in the show together, being very disrespectful on Twitter. And like this past week, he's same stuff, just very disrespectful. He's siding with Cyrus in this little kind of funny little feud we got going.
Look what Cyrus says, but it makes sense. The guy makes sense. It's logical.
Here's the thing. So we're going to either go to his show, ambush it, show up, bum rush it, whatever you want to call it. He's going to come here. But there will be a confrontation between you and Cyrus, and we're going to figure this out.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I just don't let me. The issue here is Kleinrock. You know, he's
well,
jerk.
Can we just looking at the political spectrum as it is right now? Can we just be civil for this segment?
So, fine. Go ahead. It's your show.
Okay.
It's your show.
All right. Go ahead, Kevin.
Two topics really this week I wanted to talk about. One, obviously you and I had heard about this, but it kind of broke public earlier this week on that same website from Spain that broke the Jack Evans news. Apparently, AAA has gone ahead.
Does that have any heat with you, Disco, or no?
Very big heat when he says it like that.
All right. Okay, I love it. Go ahead.
All right.
I know I was at a show this week with a lot of luchadors, and everyone pronounced it AAA.
Right. And the luchadors did too.
They were in America,
luchadors.
I guess.
You do you, Kevin. Go ahead.
So AAA decides that even though Sexy Star was now going by Sexy Dulce being her real name, and Rey Fénix, who, there's a lot of different Rays plus a name in Lucha Libre. It's not just Rey Mysterio. There's a whole bunch of other Rays. But Rey Fénix, even though they came up with these names on their own, they were going to go file trademarks in the U.S. and Mexico, trying to block them from using their names, messing with them even more so now that they've left the company. And I just wanted to see, or you've maybe heard about this, get your thoughts on this.
Right. Now, so can you imagine if, for example, this guy that just left WWE, Aaron Rex, who is Damien Sandow, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he left WWE and then he tried to use the name Aaron Rex, but WWE had already, they found out, and then they went and they registered the same name, just so he couldn't use it. I mean, they've gone through extraordinary means to make, their employees' lives miserable. And this wouldn't have happened if they would have paid them fairly, treated them fairly, pushed them fairly, but nothing's changed in that company. And now what they're doing is other wrestlers are starting to see, wow, these guys play real dirty, which they think in that company, as closed-minded as they are, they think, wow, this is cool. We're going to show people we have power, where people are starting to figure out what douches they really are. But now here's the worst part. Now, as you've seen, they're starting to get fan backlash, which is something you don't want, because even the fans are saying this is too much. They already left your company. They're not using your name. And the problem is there's these two, there's two copyright organizations in Mexico, and they have a person on the inside who AAA has paid money to, that any time that a wrestler goes there to register their name, they go and they tell AAA. So AAA will go and register that same name, and they got to fight for it in the courts. So we've actually found a way to circumvent that, which I can't say publicly, but those are just some of the ways they're trying to keep talent that doesn't want to be there. And these problems wouldn't be there if they would treat their employees correctly and fairly.
Yeah.
I got some what I think is an intelligent insight on this.
Right.
Is that Rey, R-E-Y, means king in Espanol, and that if LeBron James lived in Mexico, he would also be Ray James.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So basically, Kevin, we're going to check you out next week. And this has been another segment of
The Master Public Minute with AAA.
Oh, God, I hate you.
And Kevin, just to make Disco even more aggravated, where can people get more Mass Republic, more Lucha Shop, if you will?
You can find us at Mass Republic on Twitter and at Lucha Shop Merch on Twitter and at MassRepublic.com and LuchaShop.com. And, I promised last week that we would give away the Lucha Loot box that I was going to send Disco. And so maybe next week, that's what we'll do.
Nice.
Last time Diego Sanchez stopped by, we were talking all about Ultimate Fighting Championship. This week we switch gears and get in-depth on pro wrestling and a whole lot more with the architect of the Yes Movement, Diego Sanchez.
Well, what was your little slogan you used to do up in there or used to say?
Yeah. Órale, arriba la raza.
Órale, viva la raza. That's what's up, bro.
What's up? What's up? Well, man, I
was a big fan, man. Nice to talk to you. I'm a fan of you guys too, man. I grew up, man. I grew up big time into the pro wrestling, man. I was
like, who did you like back in the day?
Man, my all time favorites. I love Stone Cold. The Rock. Let's see who else was my top favorites. Man, there's so many, bro. So many out there.
Now, now that we're talking about wrestling real quick, I wanted to ask you, what was it like, man, seeing how Daniel Bryan took that great slogan of yours and made it such a you put on Sports Center.
It was awesome, bro.
Yeah.
It was awesome, bro, dude. I actually got to meet Daniel, and I went to one of the shows when they came into Albuquerque, and he was real cool. And I told him, man, I said, you know what, man, I'm happy with what you did with it, and he made it huge, and I'm a fan. He's one of my favorites. He's one of my all time favorites too. Just the little guys too. Like even you were big for a Latino, but. Yeah. He's undersized. The undersized wrestlers. I always liked the underdog and the smaller guys. But I actually before I ever thought of doing mixed martial arts, I actually wanted to be a WWE wrestler. I remember growing up, me and some of my friends, we'd always get together and we'd do our backyard brawls and hit each other with chairs and. One time for a class experiment, a class project, me and one of my friends, we did a match in the classroom. So, right. I have a little experience with the pro wrestling, and I got tremendous respect for you guys, and I know that you guys know all about exactly what I know about, and that's injuries and overcoming injuries and just they say, oh, the pro wrestling ain't real, but the hits you guys take are real, especially the acrobats, the guys that fly up in the air and come down hard. The slams, that ain't fake. So, right. My hat's off to you guys also, but I know the pain.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, bro. I can tell you this: with your name, the name that you've acquired, over the years of being, such great fights that you've been in that we'll go over in a second, with the name that you have, your persona, the way you talk and all that. And they always need Latinos in the wrestling business. I'm very sure that once you got done with UFC, if that was something you wanted to get into, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to sign you.
Yeah, I think pretty much after I'm done with my fighting career, we'll see where God puts me. But after 20 years of wrestling and fighting, I'm pretty.
That's
sure
the last thing you want to do is fight someone.
I'm gonna keep something that's a little less impact,
Right. Let me ask you a question, Diego. I mean, the one thing that we all love about you is you always come to fight, a warrior, a fan favorite. You're a legend in the sport. So many great fights that I've seen you with Lamas, Guida, Melendez, Stevenson, Diaz, BJ Penn, Gomi. I mean, it's just a very impressive list. My question would be, if they were to tell you got 3 fights left, and I know you ain't afraid to go up to even like 185, right?
Yep. I fought up at 185 before. I wouldn't do it now with those guys, with those big guys. But you never know. If the guy wasn't my size, it all. This is what I gotta say. In mixed martial arts, styles make fights, and that's just something that you see time and time again. Some guys can just have the other guy's number. And so if I had 3 fights, who would I fight?
Right. Regardless of weight.
All right. Obviously, my number one fight right now would be Conor McGregor. Right. I would want that fight at 170. Right. I would like that fight at 170 or 155, but I would rather do it at 170, and just have no weight cutting involved and just do it just straight man to man.
Right.
The other fight that I would want, and a fight that I really would like to do is Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib, the guy, the Russian Khabib. He's 21 or 22-0, and that's just an amazing feat. And
he's just always hurt, poor guy.
That's the guy I'd really want to fight. And let's see, last would have to be George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre would be the last.
Okay. I got another guy here who's my co-host who also wrestled in WCW as the Disco Inferno. What's up, D.I.?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, what's going on,
bro? How's it going, Disco?
You pretty good, man.
Doing good, man. I watched you back in the day, too, man. I watched you do your dance, and, I was a big fan.
Cool, man. Me too. I'm a big fan of yours, bro. As you were talking about, like, the one thing about, like, the injuries and stuff, and the one thing I used to remember is, like, when we'd go on the road, and we'd wrestle, like, 4 days at a time, right? So it's just you run on adrenaline, okay? And, like, for some, your body's, like, you can wrestle day after day. The thing that would get me is, like, what is it like? Is it like this for you after a fight, after you have, like one of these brawls that you're so known for, is that the pain wouldn't settle in the day when I got home. It would settle in then, like, the next day. Like 2 days later, I would start feeling like the wear and tear on my body from doing this. Do you feel like when you're done with a fight, when you're on adrenaline, are you feeling it right then, or does the aches kind of come like afterwards?
I'll tell you this straight up, man. For the most part, I don't feel nothing when I'm in that cage. Aside from when I fought Lamas, he kicked me in the inside of the leg, and trust me, I felt that. He hit me in a spot like that was a soft spot. There was just ligament and tendon, and he kicked me there over and over and over again. And that one I did feel in the cage, and I felt it that night too. But it's you know what, man, it's always the next day, the next 2 days. And like you said, not so much the next day, because the next day is a travel day usually, if you can. And but it's always that second or third day, man, where it sets in, and it's like, and it's it all depends on the injury, and where you're at, and what's going on, if the one that we get a lot as fighters is when we implement a kicking game. Usually when you do the kicking game, you don't feel nada when you're in that cage, but the day after, even after the fight, you saw Conor McGregor after he fought Nate Diaz, he was limping out of there. You feel those. You feel. Sometimes you catch that elbow, or you catch that knee, or they check the kick, but man, that you just can't. Sometimes you just can't walk. And you've seen it too with John Jones and Gustafsson. He was in the hospital because I think he broke his foot several times.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is like I tell these people, like everybody's like perfect example, the Bisping fight this past week. Bisping's face looked like a mess. But then you look at fights sometimes, like okay, but he's going to go home, he's going to wake up, and he's going to look in the mirror, his face hurts. But sometimes the other guy, his face might not be messed up, but he goes home and his legs are so sore he can't even stand up off the couch. So you're literally like stuck in bed, or like you can't move. So it's funny when people like say like who won the fight. It's like, okay, he looks, he got messed up, but like hell, the other guy can't walk, So like, how do you feel like do you have those days where like you just can't walk?
Yeah, there are some days. There's been travel days like that, and I always tell my wife, I'm like, do not book me the travel day the day after the fight. I don't care. I just want to rest all day after the fight. And it just depends. It really just depends. Sometimes you have a great fight, you don't feel nothing. Back I fought at UFC 196 in May, and I fought Jamila, and I walked out unscathed, felt good, was able to go and hang out afterwards, and have a good time afterwards. Sometimes you get to go to the after parties and have some drinks and eat good and just really celebrate. Sometimes it ain't like that. Sometimes you got to go to the hospital and get your brain scanned and make sure that everything's not broken. And it all depends. It all depends on the battle. But that's what I gotta say. It just all depends on who you fight and how the fight goes.
Let me ask you a question, Diego. You rely on a lot of, you're a very emotional fighter, especially at the weigh-ins. You like to get into the guy's head. You're real focused. When you went up against somebody like BJ Penn, was that, do you think you didn't go in there maybe mentally strong enough because it was BJ Penn, or do you think it was more that he had so much experience than you?
In that fight, that's a classic fight of my career, and BJ Penn, he's my training partner now, and probably the closest mixed martial arts fighter to me.
Right.
And we're like brothers now, and it's because we've been through so much, and we could really truly relate to each other. But I'll tell you right now, man, when I stepped in the octagon with BJ Penn, man, that BJ Penn, he knew me. We knew each other. We were friends before we fought, and he knew. He knew that if it got into those later rounds with me, that he had to be in the best shape of his life. He trained his ass off, and you could see in his body and in his shape and his conditioning, he never looked like that before. And and the fact of the matter is, sometimes you get caught, right. And I got caught early in that fight. And when you get caught early, depending on how bad it is, sometimes you're never the same. And that was the case in that fight. I got rocked early in the first round. I went back to the corner, and I saw my cornerman, and I was like, I saw the way they were looking at me, and I told one of them, I said, "Why are you looking at me like a pussy?" Right. And he looked at me, he said, "Diego, you got dropped." And I told him, "No, I didn't. I slipped."
Right.
And so sometimes in these fights, it's just you never know, man. You never know what's gonna happen, man. It really is truly a roll of the dice. And sometimes people say, there's no luck in fighting, but you got to, and that's why you got to go for it. That's why you got to go for it, and you can't overthink these things and be like, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to counter him here and I'm going to be so scientific and strategic. It's like, dude, go for that shit, because if you don't go for it and he goes for it first, you never know, bro. You could be out on the canvas or you could be hurt and never the same.
Bro, were you a boxing fan growing up too?
Huh?
Were you a boxing fan growing up too?
Oh yeah. Johnny Tapia, man. I'm Albuquerque, New Mexico, born and raised. So,
bro,
I grew up with
Johnny Tapia was the man.
Bro, let me tell you, you remind me so much of. You just look at your fight card, and 28-9 with a lot of just quality competition after quality competition. Bro, you remind me of your style and everything. You remind me of Eric Morales. Were you a fan of his?
Yeah. I'm a fan. I am a fan of his. He's badass too. There's so many of those boxers. I'm a big fan of that Triple G right now, man. He's turning it up.
Okay, so Triple G against Alvarez.
Oh, I don't know, man, but I gotta still stick with the Triple G on that one, man. No one touched him yet, and he has that invincibility in his favor. So I gotta stick with that one. But Canelo, man, that guy's a beast too, and I think he probably got a lot better from his losses. And that's the fight. That's the fight I want to see.
What I'm gonna do is when we're done with this interview, it's gonna come up tomorrow. We'll send you a link. We'll tag you on Twitter. Where can people find you on Twitter or your social media?
Yeah, I'm Diego Nightmare Sanchez UFC on Instagram. And I'm Diego Sanchez UFC on Twitter.
Big honor, un honor muy grande, mucha suerte en Mexico, and do your thing. Keep doing your thing, Nightmare.
Hey, Dia de las Muertas today, so know.
Konnan, do you sleep when you sleep? Do you sleep in the sheets or not?
I don't think he slept.
I don't even know what to answer you anymore. First, you want to know what type of underwear I wear. Now you want to know what sheets I use.
Or if you use sheets.
Well, sometimes it's easy comforter. I don't use sheets. Okay, I used to not use sheets, but I've been telling you about Boll and Branch sheets because they're the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever sleep on. With the holidays coming, they're the perfect, thoughtful gift. Because when you give Boll and Branch, you're giving something everyone wants but rarely gets, and that's a perfect night's sleep. Boll and Branch makes it easy. And see, the best thing about Boll and Branch is the shipping is free, and they come beautifully packaged in a gorgeous gift box. No gift wrapping needed. You can pick up a set of Boll and Branch sheets for yourself and your guest bedroom to get your house ready for the holidays. So, like you got anybody over for the holidays?
Yes, and I will be serving them plenty of Caribbean eggnog.
Okay, well,
don't you normally spend the holidays with Teddy Hart, Konnan? Maybe you could bring these as a housewarming gift.
That was once.
Right. Well, let me tell you something. If you have Boll and Branch sheets on your bed in your house when they use the guest rooms, they're going to be feeling these 100% organic cotton sheets, which means they start out super soft and get even softer over time as you wash them. Plus, they last longer.
You know what? I love the way you're describing these sheets, but if I did do that on the holidays, I'll take the sheets for me and the guests can get one of those Mexican serape blankets. They can sleep on that. I'll take the good stuff for me.
Listen, you should get sheets for everybody because everyone loves Boll and Branch sheets.
No,
they
Disco.
Have thousands. Go. Let me explain something to you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Before you interrupt me. Boll and Branch has thousands of 5-star reviews. Did you know that even 3 U.S. presidents sleep on Boll and Branch sheets? I bet you didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Well, if you're not using Boll and Branch yet, let me tell you what I can do for you. All right, Boll and Branch lets you sleep on them for 30 nights. If you're not thrilled, just send them back for a refund. It's a no lose situation, Konnan. Just try the Boll and Branch sheets out for 30 days. I guarantee you that you'll like them. If you don't, you can send them back for a refund.
That sounds like a really good deal. And the way you're putting it over, I am going to check them out. So how do I get them? Well, anybody got the info here?
Yeah, I got the scoop, and this applies to all our listeners. It applies to you too as well, Konnan. You just order at bollandbranch.com, and you get $50 off a set of sheets. That's $50 off the super premium bollandbranch.com sheets that Disco described. You just go to bollandbranch.com and use that promo code podcast1 with no space. And once again, that's bollandbranch.com, and it's spelled bollandbranch.com. bowlandbranch.com. Promo code is podcast1. And one more time, just in case you're slow-witted or you have pomade in your hair, bowlandbranch.com. Promo code podcast1.
Get your Bowl and Branch sheets. Boom.
You're going to love them.
Yo, man, back to football. One game that I really loved. One thing that you brought up to me, Disco, a couple weeks ago, you kept telling me, man, it's incredible, how many times Seattle makes these, goal line stances.
Yep.
And I think back to the Super Bowl when Russell Wilson throws to, I forgot who he threw at the goal line, and Butler is there, interception. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
Patriots win. Now we fast forward at the Seattle one. Tom Brady's down 7 points. They've already been stopped 3 times at the goal line. Okay? Mm-hmm. He throws to Rob Gronkowski, who seconds before had made an incredible catch. Remember that one?
Yep.
Would you consider him maybe the best tight end of all time or not yet?
Yes.
Okay. Then in the very last play, Gronkowski, that's the guy you want to go to against Chancellor, which could have gone either way. One of the best games of the year. And now we have a legitimate feud between these two teams. And every time they play, it's great.
That's awesome. I mean, what a game, Right. I mean, I was surprised they beat him because, brother, let me tell you something. They're
at New England, wasn't it at New England?
Yes, and the Seattle defense, the last 3 weeks, they played these games against good offense and everything, and they were on the field for like the defense is supposed to be on the field for like an average like 60-something plays, right? They were in a 3-week combined period. They were on the field for like some ridiculously number of extra plays, right? So, and they played on Monday night in a tight game. They're tired, and they still had the heart for that stand.
Not just that, the Russell Wilson that we're accustomed to seeing that can be as dangerous as any quarterback in the NFL with the softest touch. Perfect risk-reward combination. He's back to his old form. Did you see how many dimes him and Brady dropped in the hand of receivers throughout the game?
Well, Russell Wilson's ankle's better now.
Yeah.
He was hurt. He's playing hurt for like a month. He probably shouldn't have been playing. That's how hurt he was,
How much fun are the Cowboys to watch, bro? Could you believe that run Elliott ripped off at the end?
Bro, all the Cowboy haters have got to be sick to their stomach right now. Because people hate the Cowboys. A lot of people do. And they just got to be like, they're like, oh no. They're going, oh no. Are they Cowboys? They can't win the Super Bowl. Please don't let them win the Super Bowl. My God. Bro, they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl now.
Right.
They're so good, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's got to be them or Seattle, right? In the NFC now?
Yeah. I'd say them.
Right.
I'd say them, but I'm not discounting Seattle because they'll still get.
Okay. So what happens? Okay, let me ask you a question. What happens, and now Jerry Jones has been backpedaling on his Romo statements. What happens if Prescott leads them to the Super Bowl, win or lose? Do you keep Romo or do you trade him?
If I'm the Denver Broncos, I try to get him cheap for a year. So, with that defense that they got, go ahead and get Tony Romo. You got to get a quarterback you win the Super Bowl with.
Right.
They can win the Super Bowl with the guy they got now because they won with the noodle arm Peyton Manning last year. But like a Tony Romo would make them the favorite in the AFC East, I think, or the AFC.
What a way for Atlanta to lose, huh?
Yeah, Julio dropped a big pass. I was very surprised at that. But
Wide
that's all
open.
right because the Carolina and New Orleans lost in epically, historic fashion. So I was like, at least they lost.
What did you think about 3 of the top 5 college teams losing?
It happens every year. Whenever they do the BCS rankings, the top 4 or 5 teams all start losing.
Right.
But bro, the year Ohio State won the national championship when the BCS rankings came out, they started off at number 14. And there's always that 1 or 2 teams that just slowly creep back in there and get back in there. That's why I think Louisville. I said all along, I thought Louisville was probably going to end up there because Clemson I don't know. I just think Louisville's better than Clemson. Even though Clemson
and their quarterback wins Heisman.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's
Johnson?
too early to tell. There's still some big games to play.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Okay, so how are you doing? How are you doing with DraftKings, bro?
I've been doing all right. Did you see what tip did I give out last week, by the way?
think I said play Roethlisberger, Bell, Antonio Brown. So Roethlisberger threw for what?
Yeah,
400
you had some sort of stack going on. I don't remember exactly who it is.
Yes, I did pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay. But like my regular fantasy team is terrible, and but that's why DraftKings is so great, and that's why DraftKings is still the destination for 1 week fantasy football, because I don't have to worry about how bad my team that I drafted at the beginning of the year is. Every week I can draft a new team. It's like never again will all my bad draft picks and injuries from the beginning of the year haunt me later in the season. It's like every week is a brand new season at DraftKings, and you know how it works. So we've talked about this every week. You pick your contest, you draft your team, and you follow the action live. You can play with your friends. You can play with the rest of the world.
I like the 50-50 when you play.
Yeah.
Go over that one again real quick.
Say that you play anywhere from like $2 to whatever, thousands of dollars. But say you're in the contest for $100 with 5,000 other people. If you beat 4,000, if you beat 5,000 of them. If you come in 5,001th place, you double your money. Okay, it's a great contest. It's those are the ones I like. So because like you can follow,
What's the other one you like?
I just like the tournaments where you can win like $100,000. You can play for the big cash. So every week is great. So if your current fantasy team is just terrible, you got to get into DraftKings now where you can still win huge cash prizes.
Let me ask you one last question. On the $100,000 one, does just the top guy win the $100,000, or does the second and third place get something too?
They get it's like the prize pool, like it's top heavy.
Right.
Anybody can win.
Right.
It's like you can put a team in there, and like if you would have had your Steelers stack with Ezekiel Elliott this week, if you had the right players, you could have won $100,000. So that's how these things work. If you use my advice and you found the other. Week? Okay, so last week I gave actually somebody on Twitter used my advice, and they took the Pittsburgh stack. Okay, so this week,
great stack by the way.
Yes, this week we're going to roll with a hot stack here. We're going to stack again because they're hot and they're on fire and they're playing a crappy defense. We're going to roll with Marcus Mariota and DeMarco Murray, and we're going to stack them with a couple of lineups, like throwing those receivers and throwing that tight end Delaney Walker, throwing a lineup with Rashard Matthews. That's the stack this week. I think Tennessee, that offense is the one you're going to try to target this week in DraftKings.
So basically, man, if I want to, play DraftKings, get into DraftKings, join it, make some cheese, what do I got to do?
Here's what you got to do. First step is don't wait. Start the new season at DraftKings.com right now. Use the code Konnan, Konnan, and you can play for free with your first deposit. That code again is Konnan, Konnan, to play for free for your share of over $100,000 in total prizes this coming weekend. It's only at DraftKings.com. Eligibility restrictions may apply. So see the website for details over at DraftKings.com.
The one and only Hurricane Shane Helms returns for this week's Highway to Helms segment, this time breaking it down on Ultimate Fighting Championship.
What do you think about UFC, bro?
Man, I'll tell you exactly like I tweeted. I think it was the best UFC I've ever seen. I'm guessing I've seen about 85 to 90% of all the UFC events that have ever been held, and I thought it was top to bottom the best one I've ever seen. The prelims, it was the best prelims by far.
What really just blew me away in the preliminaries, watching the return of that monster called Khabib.
Yeah, man, he's a stud. He's got to stop getting hurt. I know, I've seen reports from his camps, and I know a guy that is trained at one of his camps, and just they say he can't really tone it down. He goes full speed ahead all the time, or more than he should anyway. That's why he fights, and then he gets hurt in camp, and he fights, and he gets hurt in camp. That's why he's, always has these big breaks between fights. He's got to stay healthy. But he's a monster, and even though he's got that dominating wrestling style, he doesn't just lay on you. Like, he's moving and he's active the entire time. He's not trying to stall like a lot of wrestlers do. A lot of wrestlers, they look like they're being active and they're throwing these little pitter-patter punches and shit, but that's just to keep the referee from standing them up. Like, and good wrestlers know how to stall, but he's out there throwing bombs. He's a damn animal.
And the one thing that you have to say, man, much respect to Michael Johnson. He took a beating without even being able to put his hands in the way because he tied him up 2 or 3 times and then even worse than that, when he put him in that Kimura, I thought he was going to dislocate his shoulder. Could you believe that?
Man, I think the casual fan too watching that, but like, oh man, this Michael Johnson sucks. No, Michael Johnson does not suck. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good fighter. Like, but judging by that performance, you were like, man, that guy must not be that good. No, that's just how good Khabib is.
Right.
Man, and then the heel promo at the end.
Yes.
You gotta love that.
Oh, yeah, of course, because that's what people want to see.
I was one fight away from cashing in on a 7-fight parlay. It cashed me out about $12,000.
Yeah.
But Weidman cost me. That damn flying knee to the damn brain got me.
Oh, that was awesome. He was timing him for the takedown, and and put him in. What did you think about the Joanna fight?
It was good. That was the only fight. There was a bit of a lull in the beginning, but I think that's because the skill sets kind of canceled each other out a little bit. You know, and of course, in a 5-round fight, you're generally going to pace yourself a little bit differently than you would in a 3-round fight. So they might have been conserving energy a little bit, but at the same time, you know, sometimes when you got 2 technical fighters like that, they can really cancel each other out a little bit, and becomes a bit of a stalemate at times.
You know what
once they started cooking, it was on.
Yeah, what popped me is how cool and collected is Carolina during her intros with her hands behind her back, just leaning against the cage, just posted chilling.
Yeah, I've seen her do that before. That wasn't the first time. You know, it's just kind of like her little gimmick, I guess.
Yeah,
because the first time I saw it, I was like, either this chick is good as hell and don't give a fuck, or, you know, she's just like here for the payday or something, because that's almost how it looks. Like, I ain't even interested in this fight. Like how Fedor used to look. You know, Fedor used to look like he didn't even want to be in there.
Yeah.
You know, he'd be over there like picking lint out of his belly button and shit. And then, you know, the bell ring, then he turned into a murderer.
Well, Russians are infamous for that, you know, the fighters, for just being stoic and not really too animated. And you know what I'm saying? That kind of seems to be their stilo. And then I love how, you know, you see Carolina on one side and then you see on the other side, you know, Joanna pointing at her and playing mind games. And, you know, I like that little contrast. But, bro, she almost knocked her out.
Yeah. Well, Joanna's been hurt before. You know, she's legit one of my favorite fighters, male or female, that Joanna chick.
Right.
Just because she don't back up, man. She's moving, she's pressing. She's gonna have, you know, her fights are generally always entertaining. You know, that girl don't stop, man, and so I like her.
What do you guys think about Woodley and Thompson?
I thought it was good, man. You know, it went down. I felt like Thompson won in 3 rounds, but I could definitely see them giving Woodley that 10-8. So, I mean, it was kind of a dusty finish with the announcement, you know, whatever announcement, but the scores were right. He did, you know, whatever Buffer just kind of jacked that up. He pulled that Steve Harvey play on the announcement. But
I like when Rogan kind of buried him.
Yeah, Rogan up there, man. I like that about him too. He'll call you out if you mess up, especially if you do it live. I'm a fan of Damage, as you know.
Yeah.
And at the end of that fight, Tyrone Woodley looked like he was okay, and Wonder Boy, who, you know, that was the fight I stayed away from. I didn't bet on that one. That was too close to me. But,
I think they're going to
visually, it looked like Woodley won the fight. Oh, they got to do a rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I'll tell you what I thought about that fight. Is that it's one of the only 2 fights I got to watch. Like, and I missed the first round. I guess he just ground and pounded the whole first round. But
they bloodied him up.
Yeah, I was shocked that Woodley escaped that 4th round. I mean, I thought he was completely.
You mean Thompson?
You mean Thompson, yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. That Wonder Boy escaped that 4th round.
That's right, Wonder Boy escaped just like Shane Helms has to. In Shane's case, it's because he has some TNA, Impact Wrestling, business to handle. But as always, stay up on all Shane Helms' latest adventures on social media across all platforms
Konnan.
Yeah.
All right, so your bed. All right, what size bed do you sleep in?
Okay, first the underwear, then the bed sheets. Now you want to know what type. I think you've been listening to that Hoovy song with this girl, the one where he goes, "I love you" too many times.
Oh no, I'm saying this because you're unique. You know, you don't walk like everyone else. You don't talk like everyone else. You don't sleep like everyone else. You know, so why would your mattress be like one size fits all?
I don't sleep like anybody else. What do you think I'm doing? Hanging from the roof?
Let me explain something. Okay, a truly customized mattress would cost you $5,000 to $10,000.
Right.
Until now.
Right.
Because what you can do is you can go to helixsleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and they'll run a 3D biochemical model of your body through proprietary algorithms they develop with the help from the world's leading ergonomics and biomechanics experts. The results? The most comfortable mattress you've ever slept on. Bro, this is science.
Right.
This is science. Helix customers report a 30% improvement in overall sleep quality.
Oh, I heard about this. Is this the one where if you're a couple, you could each customize your side of the bed?
Absolutely. It's like scientifically proven, you know. And after you do you do the what do we want to call it here? The model of your body.
Sure.
Right. They analyze and everything, and basically they customize your mattress, okay? And your mattress arrives at your door in about a week, and shipping is completely free. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy. That sounds incredible. So basically,
like you know what it sounds like? It sounds like Minority Report type stuff, like stuff for the future that they're doing. Seriously, this is like it's like artificial intelligence type stuff, you know. And that's why everyone from GQ magazine to Forbes are still talking about Helix Sleep.
So how do I get this, or where do I find it, or what?
Well, you have 100 nights to try it out. And if you don't love it, they'll pick it up for free and give you a full refund. No questions asked. They're basically guaranteeing you that they can customize your mattress and you will love it. All right? So it's very simple. There's a way to get this.
100%.
They're basically putting their money where their mouth is.
Absolutely.
If they're giving it to you for 100 days, 100 nights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. I'm gonna cruise over there right now. The location for everyone else is helixsleep.com. That's HELIX sleep.com/podcast. That's the special URL you go to. You're instantly on top of all the other features and attributes Disco described. You're going to get $50 off your first order. That's helixsleep.com/podcast. helixsleep.com/podcast. Hear me now. Believe me later.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's so easy. If you try, it's 100 nights. They're giving you 100 nights of sleep, and if you don't like it, they'll just come pick it back up and give you a full refund.
Right. Get your Helix mattresses. Boom.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and juicy for all.
Hoovy, I got a question. Yep. Do you and your girlfriend ever do these podcasts when you're naked?
No.
Sounds like it. Because what you say is sometimes you have in the morning you have the juicy shower, and sometimes you talk about the juicy podcast. I just wondering if there's like a special thing that you guys do like for the juicy podcast.
Hoovy.
First of all the time here, like no naked, but yeah, sometimes we just wear underwear. You know, the weather here. Hey guys, what do you think was the hottest girl in WCW overall? I mean, like, you know, like managers, Nitro girls.
Who was the hottest girl?
Yeah.
I thought, my honest opinion was, of all the years I spent in WCW, 7 years, that the interview chick, Pamela Paulshock, was the hottest one.
Oh yeah, the blonde girl. Don't she blonde girl?
She what now?
No, yeah, it's not the one who got married with Jericho.
No. No, that she get married to Jericho. You talk about?
That was a girl who got married with Jericho. Oh no. I'm sorry, I got confused. Oh yeah, no, just never mind.
So
what if the Nitro girls married Shawn Michaels?
Yeah. That's what I was getting confused.
Right. Yeah. Whisper married Shawn Michaels.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
But I thought that I thought that Pam Paulshock was probably the hottest chick.
What'd you think about Stacy Keibler?
Oh, she was hot too. She was like naturally hot. You know, all the other
Stacy Keibler was the girl next door. That's what she looked like. She had such a natural beauty to her. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Whatever happened to her? She was hanging out with this.
She met George Clooney. She was dating George Clooney,
right?
Yeah, she was dating George Clooney for a long time. How crazy is that, right?
Yeah,
that's super crazy.
I'm gonna tell you that's super. That's super juicy.
You know how you know how like guys are like, well, you know, they got like a list, you know, of girls and shit that, you know, they've been with, and they're like, you know, I think George Clooney's very high on the chicks list. You know,
for sure.
Yeah, it's very high. Okay.
Yeah. What about what's her name? There's another girl that did. Oh, Tori Wilson ended up with A-Rod.
Yeah.
You know,
with who?
With Alex Rodriguez
from the New York Yankees.
Yeah, you didn't know that, Hoovie? They did each other for a long time.
Hoovie's a big sports fan. He loves American baseball, right, Hoovie?
Yeah. But
you like NFL football.
Amen, brother. Hoovie's like A-Rod, of course.
Yeah. And,
who did you think was the hottest chicks?
I'm pretty much everyone was like pretty good level.
No. You don't get away with that. No.
That's ridiculous.
Wait a minute.
Okay, you know, I always
who do you
like
think are the hottest chicks? Pamela Poundstone. Okay, who do you think? Well, I think they're all hot. You know, it's like when I had Carlito when I was in the MLW thing with Court. We had Carlito on once, and he was burying people left and right. And then when I tried to get details, because he got around, let me put it to you that way. And I was like, you know, trying to get some details about the girls. He wouldn't say nothing about the girls because he knew he wanted to hit it again in the future. He said, if I bury them on the air, I'm not going to be able to again. But then,
I know. Well, no, that's a long time. We're talking about WCW girls. So that's like, I saw this. Yeah, some of those girls at this time, they're not looking that juicy.
Back
I don't
then,
know why.
We're talking about back then. Who the hot back then?
It's true, right? It's true. But you know, I like the red hair. The red hair. What was her name? I don't remember. Fire. Yeah, Fire. But yeah, I was just I was.
Sure.
And the other one, it was really hot. It was the way she was dancing. She was the best dancer. It was don't remember the name. Okay? It's a long time ago. But the one that short hair, very good dancer.
Spice.
Spice, yeah, Spice.
Yeah.
She was cool. Remember, she was hanging out with us and partying with us.
Yeah, she was
pretty much all the girls. They were partying with us. It's just.
Well, I'm sure that's probably what the girls in WWE do now. What you know, like the girls like to go out, like we did, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And now there's a lot of girls in WWE. I would like to be there with them.
Who do you have your eye on in WWE, Hoovie?
No, I don't have but there's quite a few good-looking girls.
Go. We could say names. This is Keeping It 100, brother.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella, yeah, they're hot.
Wait a minute. Time out. You're a fan of Nikki Bella.
Well, I'm saying we're talking about we're talking about girls we think are hot in wrestling. So I'm saying I'm a big fan of her hotness.
Wouldn't you say I'm a fan of the Bella twins?
Yeah, I
so like, but you think one is hot and the other one's not?
Well,
no,
here's the thing.
Exactly alike.
Here's the thing. One of them, as you know, has breast augmentation,
right?
And they do have very different personalities.
I do like them both, but I'm saying if I was gonna you put a girl on a poster or whatever, it would be Nikki Bella. You know what I mean?
Who would be second?
Oh man, there's so many beautiful girs there.
Don't give me the Juventud answer. Who would be second?
I gotta think for a second. I don't want to say the wrong one. Let me think. Sasha,
Lana would be the second. I think Lana is the number one.
Oh, I think Lana is by far the hottest.
Lana's super hot.
Lana's super hot. That new girl that they have who dresses up like Alexa Bliss, even though she's tiny, I think she's gorgeous.
Yeah, but let me tell you from
she looks like the girl from the dating game.
Let me tell you something.
I like the girl with the. Andrea or Vanessa, the girl with the red hair.
Oh,
very red,
Marie.
The very red hair.
Ava Marie. Yeah, she's stunning, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but let me tell you this much:
Vanessa.
is that Lana? Okay. Now, when I went to University of Georgia, and my friend, I had friends at FSU, right? So we went to go down to see the Miami FSU game. Of all the college campuses that I've ever been at, FSU easily, far and away above anybody, had the hottest girls, and there wasn't even a close second. Lana is like from that pool because she went to FSU,
right?
And like she totally looks like an FSU super hot, like FSU chick.
Let's talk about hot girl outside WWE, like independent circuit. There's a lot in the UK. Like really, there's like, I'm gonna give you two names so people can take a look on them. And I'm sure this girl is gonna be in WWE sooner or later. She's not even 20, or she's like 21. She's Tony Storm. Tony Storm. Tony
Storm?
Toni. Yeah, Tony Storm.
Okay, I'm gonna look too.
Yeah, Tony
she's
Storm.
super cute and super hot.
I think you're super cute and super hot.
I love you.
Tony
Smith. Oh yeah, wow, she does look good. She does look good. Yeah, she could use a boob job though. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, come on, Disco.
Yeah, I know.
You know what though?
She could use.
Okay.
You know what she looks like, bro? Hoovy.
Yeah, she looked like
I'm looking at this picture right here, the one where she's like in green and pink. You know which one I'm talking about?
With her hand on her hip and head.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
She looks a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Like a young Setsko.
Exactly. A little bit. Yeah, I think that's why I like it.
Yeah. I like you.
Very funny. Like,
okay.
What is this girl like?
Me vale madre. Huh?
Yep.
Do you have music for the Juice, KG?
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, let's hear that music.
This is a group called Slaves on Dope with a song called Scriptwriter, and it features a very special guest, DMC of Run DMC fame.
What do you think, Hoovy?
I like it. I like it pretty much. I like it because in the beginning, when you start off, I just like a lead guitar, like playing, like it's gonna do a solo, but at the same time, it's just building the drop, and it's amazing. I really like the beginning part, and I never hear that, like putting like a lead guitar in the beginning to just work it out to the drop. It's amazing. And at the end, it's new metal. I like it. I like the lyrics. I like it. Very good for the band. What is the name? The name band?
They are called Slaves on Dope, and they are from Canada.
I love the name.
You said you like the lyrics?
Awesome. Yeah, I like the lyrics.
What were they?
Well, I just listened to a little bit, but it's just like aggressive lyrics with rock and roll lyrics.
What do you think, Disco?
I'm not a fan of it.
Thanks.
I'm not.
What about you, KG?
To me, I thought it sounded like wrestling entrance music. As soon as it starts, it sounds like a wrestler's entrance or something that would be used for a pay-per-view.
You know what they sounded like a little bit? You know that group, very popular, I would say maybe early 2000s from LA?
Yeah.
really massive success.
Yeah, have like that 90s metal, but at the same time with new metal, it's good.
You know the
I like
group
it.
I'm talking about, KG?
You're not talking about the Foo Fighters, are you?
No.
From LA in the 90s?
Yeah. They're 2000s.
Like Jimmy Eat World?
No.
Papa Roach?
No, they were
Blink 182. Blink 182.
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. Yeah.
Yeah, they sold so many records, man.
Didn't they sound like a little bit Linkin Parkish?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. It just has that like a little bit of glam.
So you get the
metal.
juicy seal of approval in Canada for this song. Boom. The juice.
I approve it.
Says so. The juice makes so. Next song, KG.
This is the exclusive ring entrance music for WWE Network star Frank the Clown, and it was submitted by its writer and composer.
Frank the Clown, y'all. Everybody gather round, y'all. Everybody, Frank the Clown, y'all. Everybody get down, y'all. It's Frank the Clown, y'all. Frank the Clown, y'all. Everybody gather round, y'all. Everybody, Frank the Clown, y'all. Everybody get down, y'all. It's Frank the Clown, y'all.
What did you think of that?
Not 100% sure.
I'm not a fan of it.
I'm
not a fan of it.
Not approved.
Okay.
Let's play it.
You do not get the juicy seal of approval, but I liked it. It's over with me. What did you think, KG?
Well, I liked parts of it. I liked the clown theme. I like right from the go the way it gets that circus sound in. I thought maybe the vocals could have used a little production, like the one person chanting Frank the Clown on just a dry microphone.
That's over with me. That's so over with me. You have no idea.
What? Oh man!
All right. What's that next, bro? There was a good one that you played for me once.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I know the one you mean. What were you going to say, Disco?
How do the lyrics go again on that?
I'll bring it forward a little bit.
Oh, there you go. Damn, it's horrible, bro.
It's
that's like generic. That's like karaoke rap.
It's like my boy Kevin Sullivan singing.
Yeah.
Everybody gather round, y'all. Everybody, Frank the Clown, y'all. Everybody.
Well, all right, stand by.
Gather round, y'all. Frank the Clown,
That's tremendous.
No. Gather round, y'all. Everybody. Frank the Clown, y'all. Everybody.
Disco the Clown, y'all.
Think about it. Who was putting pen to paper, writing those lyrics? You know?
That's what makes it so tremendous.
Are they lyrics technically?
Yeah. Clown, yo.
Did you see Clown, Yo's?
It's just here wherever Disco goes, there's always whether it's clown themed music or clown themed memes.
And juicy for all, baby. Always loose, always juicy, and 100 keeping it on.
Where can people find you on social media, Hoovy?
Oh, it's on Twitter. It's Juventud Guerrera #2. Guerrera #2.
How do you spell that? Subi, you got to spell that out because it's a difficult. It's hard to find on Twitter sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Okay, it's GUBENTUD. I'm gonna say that GUBENTUD GUERRE2 mother. Yeah, that's right. That's my Twitter.
I think a lot of people are going to be finding you.
Yo, just want to take a minute to thank all my great sponsors who help me bring you this show for free each week. And I also, of course, want to thank you, my listener, for supporting this podcast. Now, here's an easy way for you to return the love. Just use my Amazon links anytime you do any online shopping.
Well, let me walk them through it because this is what I love to do. You know me. I'm the guy that I'm the guy that tries to sell
away.
Right.
Steals the spotlight, right?
Get the rub, right.
Right. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Podcast One homepage, and you can either go to the Keep It 100 link that we have, or you can look up in the right-hand corner and you go to the Killer Deals button. On the Keep It 100 link, you'll have the direct link to the Amazon.com link that we have. But if you're on the Podcast One homepage, you just see it up there, and you see that Killer Deals button, you're going to click that on. Okay, it's right next to the search button. So then you're going to come to the all the links on the Podcast One page, and you're going to scroll down in alphabetical order and hit the Keep It 100 link. And when you get the Keep It 100 link, you're going to have links for the United States, Canada, and the UK. You know, I live in the United States, so I would go ahead and click on the United States link. And let everybody know this too, is that, you know, Black Friday's coming up. Okay, and it's a big shopping time. You're going to be buying a lot of stuff. And the biggest pain in the ass around this time, around Thanksgiving and around Christmas, everything, is when you leave your house to go shopping, parking sucks. It takes forever. The crowds, you're waiting in line. It's just a royal pain in the ass. Okay? The best thing to do is use our Amazon links to do your shopping because A, it's probably going to be a little bit cheaper. B, it's going to save you a lot of time. And C,
gas.
It's time, gas, efficiency. You know, they'll have it delivered. You don't have to carry these big boxes back to your car and stuff like that. They'll just deliver them right to your home. So we're just letting everybody know that especially on Black Friday, there's going to be a lot of special deals going on Amazon on that day, on Amazon.com. And we'd really love if you guys just helped us out and did your shopping on Amazon.com on Black Friday. And trust me, it's going to be a much easier experience, and you're not going to get caught up in all the traffic and all the BS.
And it doesn't matter if it's for Black Friday, if it's for Christmas, birthdays, or just to treat yourself. It's Amazon's there 24 hours a day, and it's good news for all the celebrities that are moving to Canada. They can still use our Killer Deals button up there, Glenn.
Yes, it's a good idea, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, sorry.
Go ahead.
You guys know you can buy anything you could think of on Amazon, and using the Keepin' It 100 Amazon links, it doesn't cost you anything extra. There's no hidden fees. There's no extra charges. You pay a great price for what you want. They help support the show. You just go to podcast1.com, click on that Killer Deals button in the top right-hand corner of the page, and then hit the Keepin' It 100 button. You can also just go to the Keeping It 100 show page on Podcast One and click the link directly there. And, of course, thank you again for downloading, subscribing, and, of course, supporting this show. Keepin' It 100 with Konnan.
Get your holiday disco candles. Boom.
That's very disrespectful.
Very true, though. Wow.
Special thanks to our homeboys, Peter Melnick from the Audibly Exquisite podcast, Dylan Webster, a.k.a. DRW, the man who wrote Ryback's new theme music, Feeding Time, which is on iTunes now, not to mention the Podcast About Nothing on Twitter, @PanPodcast.
Just to fill you guys in here for a minute, there's some new breaking news on Vince Russo. And as someone who was just putting him over because he had such a positive interview on my podcast, there's a clip of him came out today on his own podcast that says, quote, "As a Christian man, as a believer of the Bible, I don't believe women were created to be leaders. I don't believe a woman was created to run this country based on the fact that a woman was taken from the man's rib." Adding, women weren't created first. The man was created first. The woman was created second. I believe that's how God wanted the pecking order to be. He does admit, however, his perceived role of women is important, saying, "I think women have the most important job. Giving birth and rearing kids and raising kids and molding and shaping human beings is far more important than being a leader." And this is reported on Pro Wrestling Sheet.
Yeah. The funny thing about I talked because he did his
Is this a
podcast.
shoot?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking with me. We were talking politics last week, and then he said that. I'm like, I even said I'm a male chauvinist pig. So I don't know, I was like, but he was like, bro, he's Vince is smart. He says a lot of things that he knows is going to be controversial. People are going to repeat because they want to bury him.
But there's such a thing as bad publicity,
cool, bro. That's not cool. If I were to say, wait a minute. If I were to say, hey man, during Halloween, I was taking pictures of young kids. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stir up a lot of. That's not the type of controversy you want associated with you. That you're a narrow-minded. No, bro. Wait. Let me just say, that's not good, bro. That's not good, especially.
You could argue this.
You can't argue this, Disco.
Let me talk for just 1 second.
This is the one a lot of right.
Let me just say one thing. Especially after we just talked about the pussification of America and Joey Styles got fired for a company that he didn't even make a comment in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. With these ultra-sensitive PC, that's not a good look for him, who already has a bad reputation.
That's fine, but you got to understand, bro. This is we would disagree with this, okay? But this is a political religious view. A lot of right-wing religious fanatics, which he's aborting at Chris, bro. He's real right wing. It's weird. He's not right wing politically, but he's real. He's a Bible thumper, okay? And that's what a lot of a lot of Bible thumpers that they would agree with him. People that are going to disagree are going to play the politically correct. That's offensive. That's fine. I don't care. He can say whatever he wants. To me, it wasn't offensive. I just know I don't believe that.
Oh, it wasn't offensive to me either. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And ignorant.
Probably. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of listen to a lot of the right wing, the religious right. That's what they think.
But I've never heard anything come out and said that directly.
That women aren't meant to be leaders because they come from the rib of the man. You can probably find a lot of people who said that. The woman's role, and that's the Bible thumpers. They think the freaking Earth is 6,000 years old. They're weird like that,
And dinosaurs didn't exist.
So I'm just saying, there's people that think that, and I'm like, how can you possibly think that?
Not a very smart statement to be making.
Probably not. Well, bro, he said a lot of dumb things.
Well, he said
that might be one of the dumbest I've heard, if not the. I mean, that even makes me think, like, come on, Vince, really?
We'll talk about when we have him on the show. Ask him about it.
He goes on to take issue with a listener who labeled him as sexist, but he defends his position and says men and women are not created equal because they were created with genitalia. They have different.
That doesn't mean. Well, that's just for reproductive purposes. That doesn't mean that a woman can't be a leader. I think we've seen a lot of great women.
You know what that means? You know what that means? Hillary.
Tell you what.
All right, here's the deal. Everybody's talking about Keeping It 100 with Konnan. Not just the listeners, but also other podcasters. And not just any other podcasters. I'm talking about Lance Storm and Cyrus from Killing the Town right here on the Jericho Network on Podcast One. They had some comments to make about the people on this show, and we're going to play you that clip right now, and you can get our reactions to it.
Not the least of which is the open invite extended to you by Konnan to be a guest on Keeping It 100 to address the Disco Inferno one-on-one. And I'm curious if you're going to accept this or whether one squash match this week is enough and you don't want another one.
Well, I wouldn't even call the disco thing a squash match. I tweeted out that it reminded me of the Lex Luger Bruiser Brody match that's online. Just someone who doesn't know how to fight back. And I have to say, to use wrestling parlance, probably the weakest comeback, his own employer, Konnan, kazooed him for that comeback. So I don't know, as there was the old line Ric Flair used to say, if you got the money, honey, I got the time. I'm a big fan of Konnan, so I'd be happy to go on the show, but I don't want to embarrass the kid. He threw some stuff out there I should probably just really quickly address. Let's just be clear about TNA. I was retired from the business, and Scott D'Amore, who will back me up on this, called me up and he said, Don, I got a problem. I need your help. I need you to do me a favor. And I said, okay. And I said, what's the problem? He says, the problem is we got heels here who can't get any heat. And we got a creative committee that's loaded with marks who don't know how to write to get heat. Now, I didn't know at the time that Disco was part of that. What Scott told me, he said, I need you to come in. And I said, Scott, I cannot commit. I'm getting ready to go into the private sector. And I just finished my MBA. And he said, look, please, do me a favor. Like you, was like a brother from another mother. And I said, Scott, okay, I'll come in and help you. So whatever Disco says about, oh, you weren't on the radar. Well, I'm sure I wasn't on Disco's radar because he didn't know what he was doing. Scott D'Amore did know what he was doing, actively recruited me, and I came in and I set that territory on fire. It was true. No one had heat. Here's the reality for Disco. By the time I left there, I had more heat than anybody. And so much so that they rubbed me up against Jeff Jarrett, who was the world champion, to get the heat. Now, while I was in TNA, I worked with Jeff Jarrett, Roddy Piper, and Bill Watts. Who did Disco work with? I didn't even know he was there. So let's just be clear about that. He also talks about, and this is the inside business of the wrestling industry, oh, well, you were there because you were a buddy of Scott D'Amore's. You were buddied in. You were recommended. If Disco had, don't want to be mean about it, but paid any dues in the business like the rest of us did, he would understand that that's how people get booked. Now, I will freely admit that I have gotten booked based on the recommendations of the following people during my career. Full disclosure, Chris Jericho recommended me. Lance Storm recommended me. Mad Dog Bashan recommended me. Nick Bockwinkel recommended me. Bad News Allen recommended me. Rick Martel recommended me. I'm pretty comfortable with that. I'm not clear on who recommended Disco for any of his jobs. Not sure. But that's how the wrestling business works. So a bit of a ludicrous argument that was made. I would be happy to come on Konnan's show. I just feel like it would be such a squash from an intellectual or a promo perspective. You never want to come to someone's house, kind of rough up the family, squash everybody, drink their beer, and then steal their car and walk away, because that's what this would be. Because I would walk in there, I would slap Moby, and then I would take the eye, figuratively, from Disco, and then it would just be Konnan and I sitting there. Now, Konnan has made an offer.
Oh, no.
So let me just be clear. So I've been recommended by Nick Bockwinkel and all those guys I've said. On the flip side, Disco's own co-host, Konnan, on live podcast offered to trade him to Killing the Town so he could have me. So Disco's own employer doesn't even back him up. So my question for you, Lance, is, because, Konnan's got a lot of money. Maybe this is an arrangement that could work well. You and Disco together work out well together.
No, I don't think so. I when I first listened to the show, I saw that you tweeted something about it online, and I'm like, there's no way I'm trading John Cena for James Ellsworth. And
Oof, stiff.
And I think John Cena is a good analogy, because there's a lot of people that like you, there's a lot of people that don't like you, but at the end of the day, you're far more over than James Ellsworth. And if you do the appearance on Konnan's show, that's cool. But Konnan, for the record, this is a one-time loan. This is not a trade, because I don't think you have enough money to sweeten the deal enough that I'm willing to take that trade.
Disco could move to Calgary. It'd be great.
No, I don't think that would be great. I think he should probably just stay in Vegas.
What if he threw Moby in as a producer?
Oh, tremendous.
I kid.
Yes.
We're all brothers in this business. Those of us that have actually been trained and taken bumps. Sorry, Moby.
He gets referred to you referred to you as Moby, Kevin? Is that
apparently, yeah.
Why are they shooting at you?
I don't know. You got me, brother.
You know why, I think? Because remember when we were doing something, we were doing one of the ads, it might have been the Amazon one or something.
Okay.
And Disco said something about Lance Storm and Cyrus, and you go, I like Lance Storm, and that was it. Remember?
I don't know. We tell a lot of jokes on here, but I didn't know people will get so butthurt about it. But, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that much, considering Cyrus, with all he's accomplished in the business, he wouldn't actually even qualify to be a guest on the Kevin Gill show. If you look at the people who've been on my show compared to his run, just saying, you know what I mean?
I will say this, too, is that it's funny, like he talks about, bro, let's be honest. You could fill Don Callis's or Cyrus's, whatever his name is, you could fill his accomplishments and write them down on a Post-it note in this business. I mean, even, bro, if you go to his, like, he keeps claiming he's a top guy. I mean, just like if you glance at his Wikipedia page, it's a quick read, okay, because there's not much on it. All right, they even say, WWF Mag, this is a quote, okay, WWF Magazine claimed that he was a lower-level WWF employee during the early 1990s, and that's where he claims he's always been a top guy. But I think this is a situation where Lance and him, they're living in Canada, they grow up playing hockey, and we know about concussion prevention now and everything. What causing what actually is a concussion? Like, these guys are probably they're not very athletic. Well, Cyrus is not very athletic, you can tell, but they probably fell a lot, banged their head on the ice, got hit in the head with pucks and stuff and everything, and that their recollection of events is.
So is his post-concussion syndrome due to playing hockey or due to being clumsy?
Well, they
saying he's not athletic.
Well, that on top of going to ECW, where they just hit each other with chairs all the time in the matches. Just like I'm just saying that, like I'm not saying they have quote unquote brain damage.
Right.
The way they're recollecting these, but Lance Storm did refer to Cyrus as quote unquote John Cena.
Right.
You could call me James Ellsworth because that's funny. That's like a wrestling promo, but I like those guys too. I think this is entertaining, but
they don't seem to like you.
I'm just saying it. To me, I'm still entertained with this because I've got very thick skin. But they're just, if they're as serious as they sound, it's a problem.
Okay.
Because they're just making themselves look foolish.
All right. Coming soon, Cyrus, possibly Lance, possibly Scott D'Amore, Disco Inferno, and maybe even KG. So let's see how this turns out.
You mean Moby?
Or Moby.
With that, he's got. So we should have a battle on who's more into contemporary music, him or Juventud. Every one of their cultural references is trapped in 1992.
Right.
Wow. Well, all right. So hopefully we'll get this going soon. And where can people find you guys?
Well, you can find me at The Real Disco on Twitter. You can find me at Disco Master GG, where I think you will see my new. I'm supposed to get this. My hot shave is being delayed. Hopefully, it'll get up pretty soon. But I'm going to have along with my haircut pictures, I'm going to have a hot shave. I will be on.
Will you be filming or taking pictures of your bikini wax?
That's a very disrespectful comment. That's made you're trying to make fun of me in the middle of my plug.
You've never had one.
No, of course not.
All right.
Okay, so also.
You don't ask,
you can catch me on podcast one of Vince Russo's The Brand. I'll be addressing some of he made a bunch of very controversial comments last week that everybody's all over for. We'll bring those up
next week. We will bring those up and we will review his show. Correct?
Yes. The Rocky Mountain Pro is out and it's on the Realm Network right now. I think the first couple weeks are free, and this is the first TV taped episode. I haven't seen it yet, but probably by the next show I will have watched it and we will get to review it. Also, you can catch me in Vegas. If you ever come to Vegas, call 702-303-3430 to catch my workplace, Sapphire Gentlemen's Club, and we will send a free limo to come and get you and no cover charge. And I will, if I'm there, you can shake my hand, and B,
or get a hand job.
That's what you're doing. I'm doing my plugs,
right?
And you're interrupting the plugs with disrespectful comments, trying to embarrass.
Good.
Okay, so you can take a picture with me, and I'll talk to you also for a minimum of a minute. If I've got time, right. And I might talk to you for like 1 to 3 minutes. If you're good conversation, just don't be a mark.
Right.
And
free hugs.
If you're an attractive girl, yes, I will give you a free hug. If you're an attractive girl, yes.
Or transgender.
Well, see what you do. Why are you doing that?
Why are you? You got to be all inclusive, bro.
Correct. You can't say pretty women is kind of insulting to women. You know what I mean? Some people are beautiful on the inside. Maybe she's not pretty enough to be your fan.
If the hug is free, I wanted to be with an attractive girl.
That's kind of shallow, bruh.
It might be, but that's the way it might be.
Well, he works with strippers, bro. What do you expect?
Is this because a woman is made out of part of a rib? Is this why?
Maybe.
Well, he did admit with a bush over his pig.
Right, he offered that.
I did offer that, yes.
That's awesome. All right, what's up with you, KG?
For me, your boy KG, I'm always churning out new episodes of The Kevin Gill Show, which you can get on iTunes and KevinGillShow.com. This week we got Vince Russo, who we don't talk any religion or politics, but we talk a lot about his love of wrestling. And I don't know, until the comments he made earlier, Vince has always been pretty misunderstood. And I think
Wait a minute. This is KG. I really didn't like him before I met him, but then when I heard Disco and Konnan put him over, and then I met him, he was really cool. But now that he made all these remarks about women not being able to be leaders, I'm confused again. Is that kind of it?
I'm starting to feel I'm confused by that statement. Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely. So if you're not down with Vince, I got the Wolfpack on last week, but I'm doing that. I'm on Twitter at OG Kevin Gill and Kevin Gill Show. I'll be doing commentary for Pro Wrestling Revolution this Thursday night here in San Francisco, featuring former ECW superstar Super Crazy and a whole lot more. And then, as always, DignifiedBastard.com is where I got all kinds of dope shirts and DVDs and come on by and say what up, though.
All right, man. Thank you,
What
everybody.
about where can we find you, Konnan? You never tell
Yeah,
people
you keep it on the down low.
People know where to find me. Come on. They don't know by now.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
At Konnan5150 on Twitter. And what's your Instagram?
I don't do Instagram, just Facebook.
What's your Facebook?
Same thing. KONNAN 5150.
Yeah, everybody, poke him, please. He likes to be poked on Facebook. So, like, you know,
that is
if you get a chance, poke Konnan. Konnan 5150, please, on Facebook.
And also,
How brutal is that?
You know, it's pretty brutal. And I know that our friend Konnan also has these dope, rare, exclusive, limited edition signed masks over at luchashop.com. I think everyone should be representing a Konnan mask.
No,
period.
my favorite is when, and I don't even know if this is the craze anymore. Remember when Candy Crush was the craze?
Yes.
People inviting me to play that. Who would think that knows me that I would even be interested in that game?
Remember when Johnny the Bull invited a bunch of people to play Candy Crush?
Yes.
And I called him out on it, and he tried to claim that he didn't do it and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about, bro?
Right.
It's like it says right here, you know, if John Q invited you to play Candy Crush,
Right.
You know, so he got all mad.
Right. Right. It's like somebody asked me, hey, have you played Pokemon Go? Really, dude? I mean, come on.
It's like, I just played it until my controller died. My phone went dead.
Come on. Give me a break. All right, man. I just want to say once again, I can't say it enough, but I do keep saying it because I'm so happy with the numbers that we've been getting. Thanks to you guys who've been spreading the word and listening. Send in your tweets, any ideas or guests that you want to hear or segments that you really like. You know, we read everybody's feedback. We take it into account. And, of course, I couldn't do this show without the mighty, mighty D.I. and without my boy KG. Boom. This has been Keeping It 100 with Konnan. Órale arriba la raza.
Download new episodes of Keepin' It 100 with Konnan every Thursday on podcast1.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Peace out. We'll see you next week.
From la lucha libre to the WCW, carnal, the gente straight up loving you. And from the orale ese to the yes, yo. Who wants to step to my homeboy K-Dog and get slammed on the mat, get your whole head cracked? The way man once like vocals on a filter soul track. I step into the ring yelling orale. From Mexico all the way to the U.S.
Do you watch Total Divas?
Yes.
I heard that Cena is like the biggest dick on that show.
Well, now on that new show, Total Bellas.
Total Bellas, yeah.
Yeah, he's fully like, it's ridiculous. Every night, everyone has to put on a formal attire and they all eat dinner together.
Rules and regulations in the house. These ridiculous like rules, right?
You have to make your bed every morning. You're not allowed. You have to be on top of your laundry. Like, and he lays out the way he lays out the rules is very like it would rub you the wrong way, you know?
Right. I heard it's like she spilled something on the thing one time and he had like the break out on it, like went ballistic. Like,
dude, like, yeah, they were sitting at the dinner table and like the spill hadn't even fully occurred yet and he's there with the spray and she's like, you don't need to do that. And he's like, if you don't get it right away, it sets in.
But do you think?
Hold you there?
Yeah. Hello?
Okay, so I heard, so Vince was telling me about this. And I heard, too, they had one spot where I guess Daniel Bryan and Nikki Bella had this little bitty dog. And the dog, like, snapped at Cena.
It bit him.
Like, tried to put Adam, and Cena wanted to call animal control on the dog.
But let me ask you a question, because I watched the first 2 seasons, but it just looked so scripted that I was like, man, so I stopped watching it. When you're watching this, KG, does it seem scripted or it seems like that's really him?
Well, I mean, he's always come off a little strange, I feel like, on all these shows. It seems like he's more relatable than real life than how he comes off. But on this Total Bella show, since it's inside his house, I don't know if, that's just the way they want to play his character. But it's a weird way to play your character to me because it does the opposite of connecting you with the people. You know, he's not a heel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's like a OCD or whatever, you know.
Right.
Konnan.
And
they have once a week, supposedly, they have to have a formal dinner where everybody dresses up. So Brie comes down to the dinner and she doesn't have shoes on
because they're not allowed to wear shoes in the house.
No, okay, so I guess Cena went ballistic or stuff like that. So he's disrespecting his house or something like just. I mean,
and then Daniel Bryan and them are like, "Well, we're not allowed to wear shoes." And then they're like, "Well, you have separate clean shoes that you wear in the house."
That's funny. It is very. I want to watch when I heard about all this. I want to watch the show now because I think it sounds really funny.
Right. Yeah. It was weird because I don't know what season Cena popped in on, but I watched that season. Was it KG? Do you remember?
I'm not exactly sure when, but
yeah. And he had to come to San Diego to talk to her, and they talked like on a pier.
Yes.
And then he brought her to her house, and he just felt to me so robotic. Like he was like, like he knew he was playing to the cameras, and he just seemed very robotic the last time I saw him.
Well, he's always acted that way on that show. The weirdest moment ever was they did an angle on that show where Dolph Ziggler was supposed to be like throwing himself at Nikki Bella and like, look, John doesn't want to marry you. John doesn't want to have kids. I do. I'll give you everything you want. Just be with me. And he tries to kiss her and stuff, like all stuff that would get him, major heat.
Right.
And on the show,
he wouldn't do in front of a camera because there is a camera there. Yeah.
So he does this, and Nikki goes and sits down with John. This is on Total Divas, a little while back, and she lays it all out to John. And instead of getting mad, John's like, "Look, if you think Dolph Ziggler's a better fit, I'd be a fool to try to stop you from being with him. You basically you have my blessing." What? And who does that? Who wouldn't at least be like, I don't think that's cool that he tried. So wait, he tried to kiss you at Raw while I was in the ring? You know what I mean?
Right.
These are the house rules. It's very simple. Formal dinner once every week, usually on Wednesday. Shoes are encouraged for formal dinner, so good tonight by obeying the rules, but wear a clean set of shoes. Respect the house as if it was your own. And if your own habits are leaving your towels on the floor, not attending to your laundry, not making your bed every day, then change your habits and respect ours. Every evening, when formal dinner is over, the ladies will retreat to the drawing room, which is upstairs. The men will retreat to the cigar room. Every morning, we will have morning coffee together. We will have an evening fire outside. Trash is picked up every Monday. There are 4 62-gallon trash cans. If you guys are going to be up late, please text me or tell me.
John has a lot of rules, and of course I know that better than anyone because I've signed a contract to live in this home. This is his baby, like legit his baby.
You guys are generous enough to spend this time with us. We are generous enough to give you your entire privacy. Do you have any questions?
Would Josie go in the bathroom? Like when she went poop? Out in the grass, we pick it up. I don't want to bring it in the house.
If the crap is in a bag, you can put it in one of the cans. Regarding Josie, she sheds all over the place. She has to stay in the guest house.
I have to make my bed. I have to keep Josie out of the house. It feels like all what I'm missing out on is what time my curfew is. I want poop over here, I see.
Josie.
Ew. Oh, yeah, this is for sure Josie. Clean that up before John sees it. Josie. Jojo. I know you love Josie.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't know the dog. I've seen him like 3 times. Seen her like 3 times. Yeah.
Josie, come here.
Whoa.
What happened?
I got a nice sweet bite of my thigh.
She bit you?
Yeah, check this out.
Josie.
Nicole, it can't happen again.
No, I know. I can't believe she just bit you.
Neither can I.
What do I do?
What you should do is you should call animal control.
John.
And they should come out and take the dog away.